Hello and welcome to the TCS podcast, where we're dedicated to helping you achieve extraordinary growth and success by supplying you with the tools, resources, and support necessary to not only build profitable businesses, but to create a lasting impact on your families, companies, and communities. I'm Eric Guy, president of TCS, and joining us today is one of our wonderful folks that have been around for a long time in the TCS community. You should know his face because these guys show up, man. They show up in droves sometimes. Josh Trolinger, National Account Manager at Leeboy. Welcome, Josh.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me, Eric. We really appreciate it and appreciate all that TCS does, and just glad to be a part of it, man. It's a fun ride.
Yeah. So rather than me give your background, could you tell our folks about your background and your journey and how you got into Leeboy?
Yeah. So when I graduated college, I guess 18 years ago now, I started working in the construction industry for a company called Colas. So one of the major road builders across the U.S. Spent 7 years with them, really diving into infrastructure and learning a lot of the things, tools of the trade, all the rest of that. And then I took a little hiatus for about 7 years, and I went into the ag industry and kind of changed gears, whatever, and realized that in that process, man, I was missing something. I was missing the love that I had for road building, for contracting, and for that process that takes place. And that's kind of where I cut my teeth. So I actually met my boss as I was working as a government sales manager in the ag world, and I met him at a conference, and we got to talking about my history, and he asked if I ever would be interested in getting back into the construction industry again and into the equipment side of things, and I said absolutely, and lo and behold, in a few months, there was a position that came available at Leeboy, and I got the invite to see if I was the candidate worthy of putting on the Leeboy brand and beating that drum. And lo and behold, almost 4 years to the day, actually, I think we're getting real close to that. I've been with Leeboy now and been heading up the national account stage where we're working with the contractors that I started with and working with the commercial guys that really have built Leeboy's brand. And so it's been a fun ride, but it's been a long transition to get back to where I am now.
Yeah. Well, for the record, I just wanted to say we did not call one another last night to make sure our outfits were the same, but sure. I love this get up. I love what you brought for us at the last meetup. But for those who don't know, give us a quick overview of Leeboy and what makes the company unique in the industry.
So Leeboy's been around for 60 plus years, and the vision, which you guys are well aware of B.R. Lee, to create a commercial self-propelled paver took place almost 55 to 60 years ago. And so ever since then, Leeboy has been a household name. It's been a leading brand in the commercial paving industry, and we have been innovating and building new machines year after year and trying to do exactly what our slogan is, and that's building with a professional paver in mind. And so we are solely focused on those guys that use our equipment, where our equipment fit in the industry, and how perfectly that fits within TCS, TPG, all of the groups that we're getting to know. And we've got 60 years in it, and there's been a lot of companies chasing what we've done, and we've got good competitors out there to play in the same sandbox with, but we stick to our tried and true, trying to build what the paving professional needs.
So I cannot make this up. I hope you believe me. I hope the listeners believe me. But as I drove in to TPG this morning, I literally saw one of these guys on the road, on my road. They're getting, and I'm like, I can't make this up. I cannot make this up. I literally turned off our road to to get out of our little country road onto another one. And there it was.
Yep. Well,
it's probably 6:30, 6:45 this morning. And I'm like, I can't make this up.
Yeah. And it's, we've become a household brand, and, being a leader in the industry as long as we have, even when I wasn't in the equipment space and I was still in the ag space, it was amazing then how recognizable the brand was, how accepted the brand was across the contractors. And now being a part of it, it's super cool just to see the legacy of 60 years still pushing forward and becoming what it's becoming today.
When you're talking to contractors and you guys get out, how many guys did you have at the meetup?
We had 4 of us at the meetup, and then as a team total, we've got about 10 to 12 guys in the field every day, meeting, greeting, educating, and instructing what we can help, the contractor do.
Yeah. But when you're talking to those contractors, what are their biggest concerns when it comes to equipment investment?
I mean, price is obviously always the first conversation, because everybody's got to understand the price of an investment before they can ever understand the value. And then that's where we get the opportunity to break down with them how we build, what we build, why we built it. And then from there, it's really about longevity. It's, how can Leeboy help them make money? How can Leeboy be an investment that long term is going to continue to pay back to that contractor? And we understand that, and we're building around it, because at the end of the day, they got to make money, they got to make a living. And if we can make a product that fits that need, then that's what we're aiming to do.
What are some of the common mistakes you see smaller and growing contractors make when selecting their paving equipment?
You guys say it all the time, and it comes back to that working on the business instead of working in the business. And I think the biggest mistake that we see contractors make is taking that visionary step to understand where they can grow quickly within the business and within our equipment. And more times than not, they look at the investment, they look at that price, and they look at it and say, well, this is what I need for now. Let me just get that and I'll get started. Where if we spend a little time with them and they let us come out and show some of the things that our team is well educated on, we could show them very quickly, yes, this model may be what you need for now, but what we can see your capabilities are and where we could see you wanting to grow in the near future, why spend this when you could spend just a little bit more and then have a paver that, or any other piece of equipment that we make that will take you into the years to come. So helping them make the initial investment correctly instead of just making it for now.
Yeah. With that in mind, what do you see as the most underutilized or underrated machine in your lineup?
Oh boy. We have such an array of products that it's hard to really target one, but what I would say is probably the most underutilized is thinking big in the mentality of that growth. And so when you jump into our 8530, you jump into our 8616, and you start to get into that heavy commercial, higher volume machine, both wide conveyor or narrow conveyor, more contractors could gravitate to that bigger machine, and it would give them an opportunity to do even more work and have opportunities to do even more jobs than they're used to doing. And so many times I think that it's not a bad thing. They try to fit the equipment to the projects and to their skill set. But I truly believe that a lot more contractors out there could go bigger than they give themselves credit to be able to do.
Yeah, that's good advice, actually. Yeah. So talking about supporting the field and everything, which you guys do a great job of, what's one thing that stands out about Leeboy in all the support that you give contractors? Like, can you talk about your approach to service and training?
Yeah. So the biggest thing I think that sets us apart is our team of people. When you look at all of our territory managers, are they experts in the equipment? Could they go out there and start their own paving company? More than likely, yeah, they probably could. But they're so focused on the end user and the success of that end user that we train ourselves internally as well as we train any of our customers or any of our partners to understand our equipment, how to operate it. And I think that's what really sets us apart is any of our TMs can go out, start up a machine. They can help a guy understand any mat failures that they're getting or any mat issues that they have because they know that machine inside and out. And I think that our ability to go out there and troubleshoot and help those guys make the best of that machine is truly what sets us apart. And then internally, we have what's called rapid response. And so we have a 24-hour system hotline, if you want to call it, that both the contractor and our dealer representation can utilize. So we know that everybody's not working an 8 to 5 job. Like you said this morning at 6:30, 7 o'clock, there's people out there. You go drive through bigger cities at nighttime where high volumes of traffic exist, and you can watch people paving at nighttime at 2 a.m. And when you dive into the box store world of the Lowe's and the Home Depots and Target, they don't want you to disrupt their business, so they want you to do their work at nighttime. And we have that availability. We've got 24-hour service to where that contractor can know day or night there is somebody that'll pick up a phone and somebody that will help them address the problems that they have. And that's because we do it internally. We train our people internally on our processes and our equipment, and therefore we can support them around the clock a lot easier.
Speaking of equipment, as a little sidebar here, I hear that we're coming down to visit you in a few weeks.
Yes, sir. We're excited.
Am I going to get to run any of this equipment?
More than likely, yeah. That is one cool thing that we have is we have what's called the proving grounds that's outside our facility. And about 3 years ago, Leeboy made the investment to say that we need to build outside of our facility an opportunity for exactly this purpose. When a customer comes in and or a team member comes in and says, hey, I'm interested in XYZ, we can go out there and we can show them how to run a paver. We can put sand through that paver, which replicates what an asphalt mat's going to look like. We can put them in a grader, a broom, whatever. So we're expanding that. Obviously, it's still a work in progress, but yeah, man, that's one of the fun things we do with our sales team and our internal team is that we multiple times a year get together and we go out there as we're building new products, developing new products, and testing updates to existing products. We've got a place right outside our facility where we can go make that magic happen.
Are you sure I'm going to get on my last piece of equipment?
I'll make sure we find some time. You guys get in early enough with flights or whatever when we're not doing your portion of our meeting. We'll get you guys out back.
That excites me a lot. That excites me a lot. You just don't tell my wife, Josh. All right.
Don't air this podcast.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about you. You've been great partners with the Contractor School and everything, and then bringing people into the retreats, bringing people to the meetup where they can actually see you. They can actually talk to you guys. You're extremely approachable. Like, I don't talk to you about equipment because I'm not buying equipment, but I mean, we've had other conversations. I mean, we've had conversations about, the adventures that we do and things like that. This is getting into my question. Like, how do you personally build trust with the contractors who are investing like some serious money in your machines?
Well, I think we take a different approach, right? Like, people look at guys like myself and look at our team member and they go, great, another salesman.
Mm-hmm.
And to a point, yes, we are salesmen. It is our job. We are compensated to go out and put more machines in the field. But at the same time, we are focused on building that relationship with that contractor, helping them to understand, like we talked about earlier in this conversation, like, what is your vision? Where do you see your company going? So that we can put you into the right machine. Most people want to sell what they have and they want to push the products that are available at the moment. We want to step in and find out about your business, your home life, your lifestyle, all of those things, because what you do on a day-to-day basis affects what you're able to do in your family life and your personal life. And we need to understand those things, because if we don't want to put you in something that all of a sudden either A, doesn't fit the bill that you're trying to see for the future for your company, or B, is a monetary investment that puts you upside down or it puts you in heartache. So we're really focused on understanding that contractor and then figuring out what processes and what equipment fit them so that at the end of the day, when they're done, they can look back and say, hey, I know if I pick up the phone and I call Brian or I call Josh or I call this guy or I call that guy, like they're going to answer. They know who I am. They know what I'm trying to accomplish, and they're helping me forward my business along. And essentially the same thing that you guys are trying to do through TCS with the educational side. We're just trying to put back investment into that company for taking an investment in us.
Yeah. Speaking of that, can you share a story where a strong contractor manufacturer partnership made a real impact on a job or a company?
It's super recent. There's been videos and stuff posted out there about Jordan Lambeth and Lambeth Paving and what he's accomplished, and that is something that it is this partnership. And when we for those that are listening, for those that are trying to understand the partnership and the connection to this, Leeboy has always tried to do something different, right? Like we've always tried to produce the different product. We've always tried to set ourselves apart by operating our business different, and partnering up with TPG and kind of watching you guys and then seeing how TCS is formed and just all of that. It's been an opportunity to say, our industry has been the same for the last 60 or 70 years. Nothing has changed. It's the same processes. It's the same products. It's the same equipment. What can we do that actually sets us apart different? And that's where the Jordan Lambeth opportunity comes in, because when we partnered with TCS and TPG, and we've seen what you guys do differently from the contractor side, what you're doing different from the education side, it gave us an opportunity to build a relationship with someone that knew us and knew our product, but is also looking at business from a different aspect now and saying, I really want to do something different. I want to learn more. I want to build my business and scale it easier. And I can do that if I don't do it alone. And so by him being a part of TCS, us being a part of TCS, it bridged that end user to manufacturer gap that's normally handled from the existing dealership network. And now we're able to support the dealership network and support the end user at the same time through TCS and through those partnerships that we have. And so it's helped us to build that relationship with someone that we may have not been able to do that harmoniously like we have now. And now they understand better because they've come to our facility, they've gotten the education from you guys, and we can help drive them in a different direction.
Well, and you saved them a lot of money too. And
That's
a lot
right.
of headache.
That's right. That's right. I mean, there's a beauty to this partnership, right? Like everything comes with a cost, everything comes with a value, and it's sometimes hard to understand, am I quantifying or qualifying these purchases and these investments correctly? And that's where the TCS Leeboy partnership really hones in for those members, is because they can get the education and business instruction that they need from TCS. But then by partnering with you, they've partnered with us, and they get a substantial discount because we know that they made an investment for their future and for their business by joining TCS. And therefore we want to give back to that investment to them and ensure that they're going to get the quality product they need, the uptime they deserve, and they've got a warranty and a brand that'll stand behind them for the future.
Yeah. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy either. He's a good guy.
That's right. He is. He's a dandy. He's a dandy.
So as far as let's kind of dive into innovation here and what's next with equipment and things like that. What's one innovation in paving equipment that you think will become a game changer over the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, I think that some of the automation and electronics that are being built into equipment today is going to make a bigger difference. I think it's going to make, I don't want to say from a big brother sense, but from a contractor, as their fleets expand, as their footprint expands, having the ability to track that equipment, having the ability to truly know the operational sense of that equipment and its efficiencies and all the rest of that. Our engineering team is working hard to utilize products that we already have in-house and utilize some of the partnerships that we have through stuff like Track Unit and whatever, to be able to expand that so that we can as a company, see all of our customers' products operating and know that, hey, we're able to see metrics to go, there's something not operating efficiently here, and be able to get ahead of that curve with those customers to let them know that we can possibly foresee engine issues or performance issues or things like that. So I think tying the innovation of technology that's existing and actually utilizing it more is one pivotal thing that's coming. And then we're working on a project right now, which you guys were involved in Florida with a new product that is a new distributor truck. And that distributor truck is able to spray a 2-part system. And as we all know, as we talk about investments in equipment and we talk about investments in companies, the investments from our tax dollars into infrastructure can only go so far. And so with these new development of products, our new application system, we're going to be able to help some of these DOTs and even municipalities all the way down to local HOAs figure out a way to extend their budgets, increase the life cycle of their payments, and make for a safer travel zone for the public. And it's kind of neat to see that come to fruition, because we weren't on the innovation side of the product in the industry, but we were on the innovation side of building the horse, so to speak, to go do the work. So it's really fun to see where pavement preservation and new infrastructure are going to merge together and build a better community for those that are out there.
Yeah. Speaking of that, what are contractors asking for that's shaping the future of the machines you're developing?
I mean, face it, the world we live in is more stressful, faster paced. Everything's immediate gratification. And when you look at equipment, you could go back 60 years and say, what has changed? And now we're trying to build faster paced machines, things that can produce quicker, longer, stronger. We're living in a bigger world. So the size of machines are constantly going up. They're constantly growing. We're starting to see, that entry level smaller machine, even though they still make up a lot of our business now, you can look at the trends and see that they are possibly coming down a little bit because people are stepping into those bigger machines because the demand for profitability and productivity are there. And so I think that, we just stuck out the 8816. And so we've got, bigger machines coming. We're getting into the larger markets for municipal work, that sort of thing. So the contractor is just really demanding and looking for that higher productivity and something that will last longer and stay together easier and just give them more productivity so that their profitability can become better.
Let's jump into Top Contractor School. So you've been around a lot of companies in growth mode. What separates the ones who scale well from the ones who stay stuck?
It goes back to the statement that I made earlier. They're working on their business instead of working in their business, which has become the tagline for what you guys could say for TCS. When we get to come to these events and we get to be around these contractors, their accountability to what's happening in their business is far more than what's happening today. These guys and gals are looking months, years, decades in advance, saying, this is what I have to do now to get to where I want to be there. And I think that's probably the biggest deal, is that they've made an investment in the education of their company and the education of their future. And they're actively working to implement all the things that they're learning, where most companies that get in that stuck mode are looking almost through a tunnel to say, okay, in the next 3 days, we've got to accomplish X, Y, Z, when they should be able to say, hey, foreman, super, whatever management team that they've put in place, here's your goals for this week. Here's the things that I need you to get accomplished. And then they can step back and go focus on things that are 30, 60, 120 a year from now and really drive that business forward. And then more importantly, it's how they're building their teams. Like, you can really tell a difference in the people that are building a true team around them, and they're building a great infrastructure of people to help take them to that next level. And we can see it when we come to these events.
A lot of our contractors, especially when they first come in, they're in that $1 to $5 million range, right? They're trying to grow, they're trying to scale, they're getting frustrated. And that's one of the reasons that brings them in. And we've seen a lot of those companies scale and get very big. But I'm curious what your advice would be to those smaller paving contractors wanting to take that next leap. What advice would you give them?
The same thing that I would say I gave to myself when I was trying to grow my career. If you're the smartest person in the room, if you're the strongest person in the room, if you are the most capable, you're in the wrong room. And they need to take that advantage of even if it's, we talk about it at the TCS events, it's not very often you can get competitors in the same room and educate each other and help each other grow. And I think that is the biggest mindset change, is like expanding your room, expanding your approach, putting yourself in what normally is an uncomfortable situation, because you're surrounding yourself with people that may make you feel inferior, or you may go, oh my God, that's a competitor. How can I be in the same room with them? There's enough space in this world and in this competitive space that we can sit with our competitors and we can help each other grow in this community, and we can help each other become better. And I would just say, expand your thought process of what you think you can do by changing who you surround yourself with. And if you don't have the greater people around you, then you're going to cap your abilities to grow and cap your abilities to get better.
Good answer. All right, I'm going to throw some rapid fire questions at you, Josh. You ready
Let's
for
do
these? All right, so favorite Leeboy machine?
Got to be the 8520. I think it's just the most recognizable. It's the most sold unit right now, and through everything that we've done in the last 3 to 5 years, it's kind of reinvigorated who Leeboy is.
One job site smell that never leaves you?
Oh man, it's just that fresh load of asphalt when it hits there for the first time. I mean, it's the smell of money, it's the smell of black gold, and it's the smell of, oh man, it's going to be hot today.
I like that. Go-to road trip snack while traveling to visit contractors?
Oh man, nuts, any type of nuts, something that's sweet and salty, best of both worlds.
All right. Most impressive paving job you've ever seen?
Oh, man, I would say this dates my time on paving jobs for a while, but in 2008, during the height of the recession and all the stuff that happened, I was fortunate enough to bid the largest job in the state of Missouri at that time. And we were doing, I think it was 58 continuous miles, both lanes, so both directions, almost 100 miles total. And we were doing everything from pumping fluid underneath to level the roads out, to recapping the roads, to diamond grinding, to resurfacing. I mean, it was just, I just remember, and it's probably dating me a little bit, but it was all the variations of work going on at one time. And it was just crazy to watch how many things could be happening and how quick it could go from full destruction to a traveling pavement again in a matter of days.
Best leadership lesson you've learned on the job?
Never stop looking out for the guy next to you, because every day is about everyone going home the same way that they came to work. And it's that safety aspect. And I think that once the team and the crew totally embody that respect for each other's lives and that respect for each other's livelihood, those teams seem to cohesively work so much better together. And so I've never it's kind of like the same thing with being a man, right? Like you never let a woman walk next to the street when you're walking down the street with them. You never let them step out into live traffic. You go first. Same thing with your kids. And I think that when you embody those things in your lifestyle and you take them to the job site, it puts your team first, and therefore your productivity and your abilities actually go up as well, because everyone's caring about what the other person's doing.
All right, last one. Finish this sentence. If you want to succeed in this business, you've got to
expand your horizons and dream bigger.
All right, good stuff. Any last words, Josh, especially to our contractors and Contractor School?
Man, we appreciate the contractors. We appreciate TCS. Anybody that listens to these things or hears sees the content that TCS is putting out, it's the cheapest investment that you will make that will drive your business to levels that you never believed were possible. And if you just have faith and you're already an entrepreneur because you've already started your own business, take that next leap of faith and invest in something that's going to give back to you. And the sky's the limit with TCS. You get out there and you put in the effort. It's not a golden egg that you just buy into and it just gives you everything for free, but it gives you an opportunity to put yourself in places where you can take more out than you put in.
Good stuff. Well, thanks for being on, Josh. I know we'll have you guys back on. It's always good talking to you. I'm looking forward to coming down and visiting you guys and cashing in on that promise of getting on some of the machinery.
I got my work cut out for me now.
You might regret that. You might be like, hey, why'd you bring this guy here? But I'm looking forward to it, Josh. Really appreciate you being part of our community. You guys bring a ton of value.
We look forward to the future. We appreciate TCS and everything. And to you, congrats on the new position and the new accomplishment yourself. So we look forward to it.
All right, guys. That's a wrap today for the TCS podcast. Until next time, keep leading, keep growing, and keep winning. We'll see you soon.